Howdy y'all, it's David Ryan, Soapmaker 2025, and you might notice that I am in a slightly different position today, and that's because I'm making a batch of soap with in a way that doesn't require a stick blender. I got the idea from Elly's Everyday Soap. She did a video on how to make soap in a shaker bottle, like for when you are making protein shakes and stuff for workouts. So, seeing how it worked for her, I thought I decided to try it for myself. I'll leave a link to her video and her recipe because I'm following the recipe. Although the difference that I'm doing is I am adding Taxi Cab Yellow from Micas, and I'm also adding a fragrance. I'm adding Driftwood and Amber from Brambleberry, just because I wanted to do it, see what happened and see how that affected it. It is a Castile soap. It is 100% olive oil. I do realize now that it called for extra virgin olive oil, and I only have regular olive oil, so I'm hoping the sap factor is the same. But if it's not, then I guess I won't be using it. Her recipe also called for a tablespoon of honey, which I actually made my lye solution yesterday, so I wouldn't have to worry about it cooling down this evening. And but I did not dissolve the honey in the water before I added it to the lye solution. So I discovered the hard way that when you add honey directly to cold lye solution, it does not like to dissolve. It took about a good I want to say 5 minutes, 6 minutes of constant whisking to get it to actually mostly dissolve. The whisk actually still has some globs of honey still on it, but since the honey isn't that big of a deal to it, I decided that I wanted to get on with it because I needed to do this while it was still light outside. So, the other thing that I am doing is, in addition to coloring it, I am going to put half of it. This is going to make about 1 pound of soap, so I'm going to put half a pound in one mold, half a pound in the other, and I'm going to put one in the oven to see pop to see how forced gelling this color affects it, and then I will do a comparison between the ungelled versus the fully gelled. Hopefully the other one doesn't gel, but I will do a comparison between one that has gone through a full gel phase and one that hasn't, and we'll see how that affects this color, and then I'll know how it affects it for my future reference, and then y'all can see how it affects it for y'all's future reference. So, let's get on with it. First, I'm going to add the mica. This is a sample size from Mad Mica, which they say is a generous teaspoon. Yeah, generous teaspoon, which is what 1 teaspoon is roughly what you would use for a 1 pound of soap. So before I put in the lye solution, I'm going to shake this up and get the mica all in there, and that way I can also make sure that I know how to tighten this lid properly before I add the lye solution. That looks all good. I will do the lye solution first, and then I'll add the fragrance oil to make sure I actually have, well, yeah, for one thing, I need to make sure I have room. So getting the lye solution in here, and there's plenty of room for fragrance oil. Gonna make sure this is tight on here. Make sure that that's not going to come out. And Now, like I said, I'm really excited for my friend to come over. I'm excited for the 3 soap projects I got over the next few weeks. Plus, and after these projects, the project that I am going to get done is my peppermint soap for my Christmas gift for my co-workers this year, which is the thing I've been wanting to do for close to a decade now, or over half of a decade at the very least. I know this is going to take a little bit longer than... I forget exactly how long it took on Elly's channel. I think one downside to this is you're probably going to get a lot of bubbles in your soap. And the bottle I'm using is a number 5 bottle. I didn't want to risk getting one that I wouldn't be able to make lye solution in. It seems to be getting thick. I'll see if I can add a timer in the video and see how long this is, and so we can figure it out. Nope, I don't think that is. I think next time I check, though, I'm going to go and go ahead and add the fragrance oil so I don't have to mix it too much longer after that. It is warming up a little bit. I can feel it. But yeah, I would when I was at the pharmacy, when I was getting the bottle, I checked what kind of plastic each one, and this one was a 5, and the others were 7, and I use 2 and 5 plastic containers for. I forget exactly what kind of plastics those are, but I didn't want to make sure. I know that the reaction isn't going to heat up nearly as much in this as it would when I'm making the lye solution. So, but I also didn't want to have it. I don't know if the other types of plastics would erode because of the lye. So I decided better safe than sorry. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and add the fragrance oil. This is again driftwood and amber from Brambleberry. It does seem to, feels heavier as I'm doing it. Yeah, I'm definitely going to see if I can add a timer on this in the video to start when I added the lye, and get a better idea about how long this is taking. I also don't know if it's better to shake like this, or what. So I forget exactly how she did it. I think she did it more like this. I don't know if she did a jump cut or Elly did a jump cut in her video or not, but this is actually kind of fun. This is actually pretty fun. One other thing I like to do is I like baking, and when I make bread, I learned how to do, or I read in a book, one kind of style of kneading called accordion, where you kind of stretch it and squish it in your hand. You don't necessarily need to put it on a table, and it's really cathartic and fun to do. And this is pretty fun to do too. And also, this reduces the mess of a lot. So I think if this works, whenever I want to test a batch of soap in the future, I'm going to use this method because it's small. I don't need to worry about cleaning my stick blender. And by test batch, I mean when it's going to be all one color, like testing the color or testing the fragrance. Yeah, just a small batch. curious as to what brand of olive oil I'm using, I'm using Filippo Berrio, which I found on Amazon. You can buy it in a few different sizes. I'm starting to buy it in the largest size they have available now because I'm starting to make a lot more soap, and it's cheaper when you buy it in bulk. And I don't have space to buy it wholesale quite yet. And for those of y'all who know about the whole agro mafia in Italy and the dilution of olive oil with other oils, I actually went on the website. I can't remember what the website is off the top of my head, but I'll look it up and put it in the notes. There's a website you can go on to make sure that the olive oil you're buying is actually certified 100% olive oil from Italy or wherever the source is, and not diluted by other oils. On their tin, they do actually put when they bottle it too. So when you're making soap, you want the oils that are freshest, and so that's why I started buying from them. It's on Amazon, but it's their store, and so it's essentially buying directly from them. Okay, so I am going to check this again because I do feel like, okay, so let's, no, I think, yeah, it is still oily on top. I am actually going to I'm going to do a jump cut because I actually have limited space, I'm noticing. So I will get back to you once I get to a point where I am ready to pour it. I don't know how long, I didn't keep track of exactly how long I was shaking, but it's become, it's not quite light trace, but it is definitely thick, and it doesn't separate when I dip a spoon into it. So I'm going to quickly reorientate so you can see me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take half of it. I'm going to pour, yeah, look at that. I'm going to try and get it as even as possible. Yeah, that's definitely emulsified right there. I actually don't have that much hope as far as the fragrance. I can barely smell it at this point. Not that I'm too incredibly worried. I probably could have put more in there, but I was just limited to the sample size from Brambleberry that I got, which is pretty much perfect for a 1 pound batch of soap. It's about a half an ounce. 1 pound can do half an ounce to a full ounce usually. Always check your percentages, of course. But usually the rule is half ounce to an ounce. My juniper sage scent kind of has faded. If you put it up to your nose, you can smell it. But next time I make it, I'm going to actually increase the amount of fragrance in it. But yeah, this is my experiment with the shaker bottle soap making method. It did take longer than I expected to, and it is a kind of a good workout if you're out of shape like I am. So I'm going to seat pop one of them, and then since this is a Castile soap, this might take a few days to set up, but when it does set up, I will get that to you. Okay, so now it is time to unmold my shaken up soaps. I am unsure of how my attempt at a seat pop worked as far as changing the color. When I checked the temperature with my thermometer, when I opened the oven to put the one batch of soap in, it only read about 125 on the inside. So when I put it in, I kept it wrapped in a towel. I turned on the oven to the lowest setting again for a while. I cleaned up the rest of my stuff and then turned it off again and left it in there for about 45 minutes, or half an hour, 45 minutes. I didn't know if I needed to leave it as long since it was a really, really small batch. When I did take it out, the surface temperature was 145, so I'm not entirely sure if it forced gel right. There is a slight difference in the color between the two batches, which hopefully you'll be able to see when I unmold them. But I wanted to let you know that I'm not sure I did it correctly, and so I probably will have to try again, since I've got some soaps that use activated charcoal coming up. I know I'm going to have to get it done. I'll know how to do it properly, because if you don't see pop activated charcoal, it won't become super black. It will kind of be more gray. Unless you add a lot, in which case you'll get black lather, which can stain your tub. So I'm gonna try and avoid that. So okay, so we got these two. This is the one that went in the oven for the C-pop, and this is the one that stayed out. As you can hopefully see, this one is a little bit more pale. So I'm thinking that at least it has more soda ash on top. That could be part of the problem too. I don't think this one has as much. This one has as much soda ash. So let's unmold the non-C-popped one first. It's still very soft. I will not be using my cheese slicer to cut this, because when I went to replace the wire on it, the replacement wires did not actually fit. So I'm kind of angry about that, but I didn't. Well, I say I'm kind of angry about that, but I honestly spent $20 on it, so I'll look for a better one this time. Huh. It is very, compared to the top and bottom, it is, it's a weird, I don't know, doesn't seem to be showing up on the camera, but it's a weird color. Maybe it will, mellow out as it cures, but it's kind of got a greenish acrid tint to it. I'm not a fan if it doesn't mellow out, so I'm gonna just cut this. Yeah, I'll show you, like, comparatively, it's a really weird yellow. I don't think I will. This was the I think taxi cab yellow I got. So okay, this is like, maybe I didn't get it all dispersed, because there's some spots of just darker yellow. So maybe the mica didn't get fully dispersed properly. And now for my attempt at C-popping. This one is still kind of wet. I think the other one wasn't. So I'm not sure what went wrong with this one. Maybe it was just light separation. I'm not sure. I think I'll see what happens when I cut it anyway. Cut it in half. It is the same color on the inside as it is on the outside, as the other one. There was no change. There are weird cracks in it, though, that I'm not sure what those are. The fragrance didn't stick, is there. It's not super, it's very faint. I think the outside definitely did get a darker color than the non-C-popped version, so not sure exactly what happened with that. It doesn't seem to be, it's not brittle or anything, but there are definitely kind of, I don't know if you can see them, kind of cracks within it, so that could be air bubbles. I wouldn't be surprised if it was air bubbles because I did shake it, so I guess I will let this cure. And since this is a Castile soap, this will take about 8 weeks to cure properly before it's usable. It's still very, I could probably bend it. It's very soft. I'm definitely wash my hands after this. With sticky, soapy fingers, I end this episode. I'm not sure if this is a ruined batch of soap or not. It doesn't seem to have crystals in it. It doesn't turn out exactly how I expected it to, but I will do an update once there's been about 8 weeks of cure time. I'm just very unsure about this batch. But if you have any idea of what the weird things might be caused by, please let me know. I'd like to be able to fix it in the future or avoid it in the future. And if you like the episode, please, if you like this video, please give me a like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for when I have more videos. And of course, you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok, Soapmaker 2025. See you next time.